So you have some additional time. Now, for that personal statement, what should you write about? You should write about, or rather, I should say, you don't have to write about any of these. You can write about one or two or all of them or none of them. It's whatever you want to share. But my recommendation would be for you to consider the topics of your academic goals, your career goals, your experience of online learning, why CUNY SPS is the right fit for you. So academic history, academic goals, career goals, experience of online learning, and why CUNY SPS is the right fit for you. Actually, Tom, it may be a good idea to go ahead and pop that in the chat as well, because someone may want to, write that down, make their own notes, take a screenshot. But I find that that's really helpful to sort of have those sort of starting topics when you sit down to write that personal statement. The application process. How do I apply? What comes next? So you are going to submit a transfer application in CUNY first. Now, transfer is a very important word. If you were to accidentally choose freshman, we are not on the freshman application. So please make sure you are selecting transfer. If you have previously attended CUNY or applied to CUNY, you will have an existing account, which you'll log into. If you've never done anything with CUNY, then you're going to create that account. So you select transfer, SPS, you fill out the application, which is very much like filling out paperwork at a doctor's office. You will note that there's a few questions that may not feel applicable to you. There is a section on the application which will ask you about extracurricular activities. I don't need you to tell me about band or if you played soccer in high school. You're welcome to share that with me, but please note that this is information that is on the general application. You do not need to feel any worry about having to give us that information. We need to know your contact information, your academic history, all of those mandatory fields. Then you'll include your essay, personal statement. You'll upload that. You'll pay the application fee. There are some exceptions. If you are a veteran, active military, a spouse of, or you're currently attending a CUNY school. So for all of you that are currently in community college, especially looking to transfer, you are eligible for that fee waiver. Now, if you do not fall in one of those categories and you have a question about fee waivers, I am not able to grant a fee waiver here at SPS because we don't control those application fee waivers. It is through CUNY. So you would actually want to contact CUNY directly. Any questions about the application, you'll go through CUNY. Tom, if you'll go ahead and put their email address, admissions@cuny.edu, and just put a note that is for applications questions. So questions about technical errors that may be coming up, or the fee, different from our email address, which we'll put up on the screen at the end, but you'll be able to reach out to CUNY directly, and then finally submitting by the deadline. You can also upload certificates or licenses if applicable. So if you're coming into the nursing program and you're uploading your nursing license, if you're coming in through Empower or Perscolis or Opportunities for Better Tomorrow, uploading your Google IT certificates and so on. Now, I did say submit by the deadline. So let's talk about that deadline. I have some good news. As you will see at the top of the screen, the regular deadline, Thursday, December 1st. Chris, that's today. I got things going on. I didn't know the deadline was today. Listen, if you are in this information session, we are going to extend that deadline for you until December 5th. You have the entire weekend to submit your application. And keep in mind, that doesn't even mean the transcripts or the personal statement. That is just to submit the application. So while today is the deadline, we are going to offer you an extension as a thank you for joining us. You have until December 5th Monday, December 5th, to submit your application. Now, I don't think I touched on, before we hit financial aid, let me touch on this quickly. I don't believe I touched on transcripts in terms of what we need. I think we know that the required transcripts, but a few things to note. Transcripts, in order to be considered official, must come to us directly from the college or university. So if you have a transcript sent to you, you are not able to then send us that transcript. The only exception would be is if you got a transcript in the mail and it is still in a sealed envelope, and you put that sealed envelope in another envelope and you mail it to us. But we do prefer electronic transcripts. It is for an expedited processing time. It is much quicker. Typically, if you go to your college website and they offer electronic transcripts and you request one, we usually have it within 48 to 72 hours. So it gets to us in a much quicker fashion. If you are having a transcript mailed, please have it mailed directly to us, not to CUNY Central. You want it to come to that 119 West 31st address. And then finally, for electronic transcripts, if the college that you are requesting transcripts from, if they use the National Student Clearinghouse, please select graduate admissions. It will give you an option for undergraduate or graduate, even though you are applying to an undergraduate program. Please select graduate admissions so that it will come directly to us. And again, we can process it as quickly as possible. If you have attended CUNY, in most circumstances, nearly all, we are able to pull that CUNY transcript for you. So if you're in the room today and you went to Kingsborough and John Jay, you do not have to send me your Kingsborough and John Jay transcript. I will be able to go into CUNY first and pull that for you. If you went to Kingsborough and John Jay and Stony Brook, I cannot pull that Stony Brook transcript. Anything that's non-CUNY, any SUNY or private colleges, you do need to order to have those transcripts sent to us. And as always, any questions, please pop them in the Q&A or at a later date, email, text, call. We will get it figured out. But let's move into financial aid because we want to keep moving along, because I want to get you out of here as quickly as possible so you can go work on your application. That's a little joke. So financial aid that we offer: grants, loans, scholarships. Of course, we love grants. This is our free money, federal and state. So maybe think of your Pell or your TAP. Here at the bottom of the screen, you're going to see that TAP code as well as our FAFSA code. Please don't let that confuse you when you do the FAFSA code. We do share our code with the graduate school. As long as you're using those numbers, it will be the correct code for us. You also have your loans, what are called now direct loans. They were Stafford when I was in college, dating myself a little bit. And then finally, scholarships. If you go to our website, you can see a list of scholarships that are both SPS specific, CUNY scholarships, and external scholarships. We do accept external scholarships. So if you're getting a scholarship from your employer or a civic group or a corporation, you would contact financial aid and you would work with the grantor of the scholarship to determine how that money is being applied towards your bill. But of course, you complete your FAFSA, you submit it, you get a financial aid package, and then you see what that bottom line cost is. You must be enrolled for 6 credits to be eligible for financial aid. This is so wonderful. You do not have to have 12 credits or more. It is not that traditional full-time. As long as you're taking 6 credits, which traditionally that's going to look like 2 classes, then you would be eligible for federal financial aid. But I'm talking about financial aid. What I haven't done yet is told you about, well, what is the actual cost? How much is it per credit? What if I don't live in New York State, and so on? Here you're going to see that full breakdown. If you are a New York State resident and you are attending part-time, you will be paying $305 per credit. So essentially think of that, in most cases, that's $915 a class. If you're an out-of-state resident, that is $350 per credit. So you're thinking of $1050 per class. And if you're attending full-time as a New York State resident, that's $3465 per semester. Full-time is determined by 12 or more credits. If you are not a New York State resident and you want to attend full-time, that would be $350 times the number of credits that you are taking. So that should kind of give you a baseline. You can go to the website to see more. Tom, if you'll go ahead and post the link to our tuition and fees page so you can see everything sort of broken down for you to give you an idea of what that is going to look like. And of course, that number changes once there's the FAFSA and that information has been taken into consideration with grants and loans and scholarships. And then finally, at the bottom, tuition payment plans are available. This is so important. I know when I was in college, I did not necessarily have $3,000 at the top of a semester to pay off my balance, but I was able to do it once that was broken up into payments over a 6-month span. So you definitely, that's something that feels like is the right fit for you. You want to talk to financial aid and see what payment plans are available. Oh boy. So we've covered a lot of information. I hope that you have more information now than you did when you came into the space. I did just go ahead and launch a poll. So before you leave, if you could just take a quick minute and answer that poll, it's really helpful for me moving forward. And again, because I know some of you will be popping out of the room right now, you have until December 5th to submit that application. So now I am going to ask Tom if he will just quickly come off mute. Tell me, what did I miss? What have we not talked about? I always miss something. There's so much information. Are there any questions that we're seeing pop up in the chat that we don't feel like we've gone over? Tom, are you there?
We are here.
Check, Houston.
Check. Let's see. I think you covered pretty much everything. Maybe let's see, just clarifying the today's deadline and then the extension and exactly when we need documents and kind of those different deadlines.
Great. So today is the regular deadline, but I am keeping that application open so that you can submit. You have until December 5th. So Monday at midnight, that application will close. Regardless of when you submit the application, whether it was 3 weeks ago, it's today, or you submit on Monday the 5th, you have until December 12th to get me the transcripts. So my recommendation would be, if you know you're going to apply, but you're not going to do so until the weekend, it's probably smart to go ahead and request those transcripts that are not CUNY to be sent to us, especially if they have to be mailed. Again, this is why electronic transcripts are so fantastic, because we don't have to wait on the mailing process. They come to us typically within 3 business days. But if you do your application this weekend, but you don't upload your personal statement until next weekend, that's fine. You have that time. Those documents are not due until the 12th. So I didn't mention this. Let me put this out there. If you have attended college outside of the US, if you have gone to school anywhere outside of the US, then you want to make sure, and Tom, if you can, post the link in the chat to applicants educated outside the US. There are some additional application processes in terms of the transcripts, because you have to make sure that if it's, in a language other than English, that you get a translation, and we have to do an evaluation, whether CUNY does it or you go through a service. At this point, it would be too late to get an evaluation from CUNY, but you could go through an outside agency. All of that information's online. If you just click on the link that Tom posted, you'll be able to see that. But I do want to make sure that I highlight that if you've attended college outside of the U.S. Great. So at this point, then we are at just 10 minutes or so before 1. So we're right on schedule. I am going to hang out in the room. Tom's going to hang out in the room. We are going to continue to answer questions. I will come on and let you know, give you a warning when we're about to close the room. But note here on the screen, questions, contact us. Questions don't always come up right away, especially since I've thrown 45 minutes worth of information at you. Those questions may pop up in 30 minutes or 3 weeks or 3 months. How do you get in touch with us? Email us, text us. You are also welcome to call us, but because we are on a hybrid remote schedule, I always say the quickest way to get a response is actually going to be through texting us or emailing us. And the nice thing, one of the things I love about texting is if a question pops into your head at 11 o'clock at night, you can go ahead and just pick up your phone and text me that question, and it'll be there waiting for me in the morning. You don't have to log on and send an email. You don't have to call and wait for a voicemail to be checked. So I love the texting feature. I can't say enough good things about it. But also emailing us. So make sure to don't hesitate, get those questions out there. Okay, so again, I am going to give my voice a bit of a rest. I'm going to go on mute, but we are still in this space. Continue to put those questions in. I will let you know before we close. And if we don't chat again, then I hope I see your application. I hope I hear from you via text or email. I thank you for joining us, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.
Recording stopped.